Hello everyone, these are the answers to the first three problems assigned yesterday from worksheet 5.3. So for number 1, you were just asked which of the following are binomial experiments or can be reduced to binomial experiments. So A, surveying 100 people to determine if they like Powerade Zero would say yes, because we would either get yes they like it or no they didn't. B, tossing a coin 100 times to see how many heads occur, yes, because there's only two outcomes, heads or tails. C, asking 1,000 people which brand of cigarettes they smoke, no, because we're not just going to get two answers or something that could be simplified to two answers. There could be a total of maybe 4 brands that come up as answers. D, testing one brand of aspirin by using 10 people to determine whether it is effective. Yes, because you're either going to say yes, it's effective, or no, it isn't. E, testing 4 different brands of aspirin to see which brands are effective. No, because it doesn't mention the number of trials, and you'd have to do this a couple of times to say yes, they're effective, or no, they're not. So because it says testing 4 different brands, this would be an example of no. All right, for 2, you just had to use the formula. So here are the decimal answers rounded out to 3 decimal places. And then C, I just wanted you guys to get practice reading the table. So if you have any questions about 2 and 3, please let me know. All right, today we're going to take a look at some application problems involving the binomial probability distribution or binomial experiments. So our first problem is about a survey on doctor visits. So a survey found that 1 out of 5 Americans say he or she has visited a doctor in any given month. If 10 people are selected at random, find the probability that exactly 3 will have visited a doctor last month. So in this case, we have to figure out what is n, what is x, what is p. So n is the number of trials, or in this case, the number of people that were surveyed at random. So that's going to be 10. We're asking 10 people. X is the probability that exactly 3, so x is going to be 3. And the probability of success is that we're looking at 1 out of 5, so we can say 1/5 or 0.2. Now just for this first one, we're going to use the formula. So let's go ahead and write this out. So remember that was the probability of x, so the probability of 3 is equal to n factorial, so that's 10 factorial, over x factorial, so that's 3 factorial, and then n minus x will give us 7 factorial, and then it's times p to the x, so that would be to the third, and then q would just be 4/5, and then q would just be n minus x, so that would be to the 7th, and then all you have to do is type this into your calculator. Again, we'll round it 3 decimal places. So go ahead and pause the video to do that. And you should be getting a 0.201. So a little over 20% is the probability of this happening. All right, our next example is a survey on employment. A survey from Teenage Research Unlimited found that 30% of teenage consumers receive their spending money from part-time jobs. If 5 teenagers are selected at random, find the probability that at least 3 of them will have a part-time job. Now this is a little different, so we're going to go through this together. So n, we're asking 5 teenagers, so n is 5. I'm going to skip to the probability here, so we see 30%, so we would say 0.3. But now we're looking for the probability at least 3, so that would be 3 or 4 or 5. So this is what we could do. On our calculator, I want you guys to go to a calculator page, go to menu 5, 5, and then we want to scroll down not to A, but we want to go to B. So we want to go to menu 5, 5B. And then you should get a box that says the number of trials, n, so that's going to be 5. Probability of success, that's going to be the 0.3. Now you have a lower bound. That's going to be 0. I'm sorry, that's going to be 3 in this case. You might see a 0 on the calculator by default. And then the upper bound, we're going to go to 5. And we'll go ahead and calculate that. And we should be getting a 0.163. So this saves us the time. Using menu 55B saves us the time of doing probability of exactly 3, and then we have to add it to the probability of exactly 4, then the probability of exactly 5. So instead of doing this, because what if we had 20 teenagers and we wanted to say at least 3? We would want to have to sit here and add probability of 3 up to the probability of 20. So this menu 55B is a real time saver. All right, so let's use this on this next example as well. It's a survey on the fear of being home alone at night. Public opinion reported that 5% of Americans are afraid of being alone in a house at night. If a random sample of 20 Americans is selected, let's find these probabilities. So we're pretty much going to go through this the same way we just did the last example. We'll show what N, X, and P are, and then we'll just use the features on our calculator. So for the first one, exactly 5 people. So in this case, N is going to be what? Should be the 20. The probability, P, is going to be that 5%, 0.05. And in this case, since it says exactly 5 people, X is going to be 5. So we would just say the probability of 5. And we could go back to our calculator now. So only when I specify to use the formula do I want you using the formula. So now we could go to menu 55A. We use A when there's only one value for X. So here we're going to type in 20 for the number of trials, 0.05 for the probability, and then the X value is 5. So you should be getting a 0.002. All right, B, at most 3 people in the sample are afraid. N and P are staying the same, so N is 20, P is 0.05. There's no nice way to list X, so we're just going to say at most 3 people. So that's going to be between 0 and 3. So the probability of 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. So we're going to go to menu 55B. Number of trials again is 20. Probability of success is 0.05. Our lower bound is 0, and our upper bound is 3. We should be getting a 0.984. So I want you guys to try C. Now in this case, I'm just going to write it the probability of at least 3. Now in this case, we could just show that X would be, if we're at least 3, we're what? Greater than or equal to 3. So pause the video to see what you think you should type into the calculator. Give that a try. Now another way to think of this is really the probability of 3 plus the probability of 4 plus all the way up to what? Probability of 20. We don't want to have to sit here, like I said, and do this that many times. So if we go into menu 55B, again, N is 20, P is 0.05. Our lower bound here is 3, and our upper bound is 20, and we should be getting a 0.075. Now, another shorter way to do this, too, this is actually the quickest way, but we could have done the probability of 0 plus the probability of 1 plus the probability of 2, and then just subtracted it from 1. But again, this is the quickest way. All right, so now continue just with problems 4 through 7 off of worksheet 5.3. We have one more day, so we will finish up 5.3 tomorrow. So into next week, we'll start the Chapter 5 study guide. But before I give you guys a big test over these 3 sections, I'm going to give you a little quiz, quite possibly next Wednesday over sections 5.1 to 5.3. So as always, guys, take care. Let me know if you have any questions.